Hello, we're here. We have 4 wines in front of us, all available at kosherwine.com. All also Yaakov Oryah. 2 white wines, 2 red wines. Fascinating array. I'm also joined by a few other people, so it's pretty fitting. 4 folks for 4 wines. The 2 whites, we're going to start off. They're both Chardonnays. Let's start with the Yaakov's Playground Single Vineyard Chardonnay 2021.
Light wine, great for drinking on a warm day, having a cold. Really light, fruity wine. A little bit tart. Almost tastes like a Granny Smith apple type of flavoring, but very good. Very good for the summer.
I would say it's very versatile. Incredibly versatile. It can be had easily in the winter, spring, fall. Perhaps it excels on a warm day, especially sunny day outside. Amazing for a Shabbat afternoon or even a Yom Tov afternoon lunch. As the Granny Smith apple thing with a teeny tiny tartness towards the end. Incredible. Some vanilla, some lemon. Mouthfeel is delectably smooth, which is really enjoyable about this.
And a light, clear color.
Mm-hmm. Like a light straw.
Definitely second the fruitiness. Even make a pear kind of taste to it. I can see that with the Granny Smith apple kind of flavor too.
The second white we had, which is right here, which is definitely not a light straw color, perhaps almost like a light apple juice color, is the Yaakov Oryah Alpha Omega, also Chardonnay. It's 2019. One thing I actually weirdly enjoyed was this sort of slight touch of effervescence from the mid to late palate, perhaps a touch of honey. There was, curiously, because of the macerated grapes, perhaps a touch of astringency towards the end.
Astringency would be a good way to describe it. It felt almost as if drinking it was at the beginning a little bit easy, and then as the flavor came into the palate, it felt like the tartness of the peel of the grape. I'm feeling that dryness and that flavor.
This was, I think, for our tasting session, a very colorful one. Everybody agreed. The first, the Yaakov's Playground was certainly very colorful. It was very playful. Everybody enjoyed it. It was a wine for all seasons. This one was perhaps the most divisive of the evening because it was really interesting. It was not a simple, straightforward wine, but it brought some complexity as opposed to the first wine, which opened us up with a simplicity. This has, it's really fascinating.
I like the word effervescence. Is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. It's sort of like a tanginess sort of at the end. Almost bubbly as he described, but tingling feeling.
Very light effervescence.
Then we moved on to reds. We're pretty pluralistic in this setting. We drink whites, but we also enjoy reds. So we had 2 reds this evening. The first of which was another divisive wine this evening, was this Makom Liyad Hayam, A Place by the Sea 2020. This was really fascinating.
Excellent in flavor. My initial reaction was you taste the woodiness. You taste that the dry Merlot woody flavorness, I think, would be the best way to describe it. It almost felt as if it needed more time to open, and maybe we opened the bottle too early, or maybe we just needed to let it sit for a while.
Well, one thing that was distinct about this wine, it had a very strong cherry flavor, and to some of us it was, as mentioned before, it's quite divisive. Some of us liked it and could have a steak with it, within the next 10 minutes. Others thought it reminded them of childhood sickness. So it was so cherry.
I incredibly enjoyed this. It has, despite this, I think even the people who were not fans of it even thought it should be put away for 5 to 8 years because it has so much incredible potential. It's full of flavor. Fascinating. We talked about the cherry Robitussin aspect. I actually, from the aroma through the palate finish, I actually really greatly enjoyed how even a little wet horse blanketiness, and I know that can be kind of like Brettanomyces, but I actually really enjoyed how full of flavor this was. It was 100% Merlot. I'm not the biggest Merlot person, but this was fun. It was flavorful. It was a serious wine, and you can get some oakiness, maybe some definitely a lot of woodiness. There's no question. There's a lot of woodiness going on with this, but perhaps I think if it mellowed out over the course of several years cellaring, it could be to the benefit of us all. We finished off with this SOB, which stands for Special Oryah Blend 2018. 5 different grape varietals. How this was a nice way to close out the evening.
Yeah, this one was much better. It definitely had sort of that cherry of the last one, but much darker, so more like a blackberry, black cherry kind of feel to it,
and a softer palate to it, a softer flavor to it.
I was kind of joking that it was like blackberries that kind of fell off the tree very early. Maybe got stepped on with some cowboy boots, a little leather in there. But
it was certainly more mellow. It was certainly more mellow than the previous
It was
red.
definitely more mellow than the A Place by the Sea. I think also this one was a little older, so this was a 2018.
Correct.
So I think you felt that it sat a little longer. You felt
Correct.
that it had a little time to age. You definitely felt more flavors as soon as you took that first sip. It had a lot more depth in the nose. So all around, I think it would tell me that the potential of both reds are there with very different flavorings. I thought that was cool.
Closing this out, I want to issue a disclosure. All of these wines were supplied to Jewish Ranking for review purposes. So thank you so much, kosherwine.com. These were certainly incredibly fascinating, flavorful, and elicited a lot of conversation. Thank you so much, and l'chaim.
L'chaim.
All right. We did it. All right. Now we can kill the bottles.